Okay, so get ready for this, because today we're diving deep into some pretty mystical territory.
Yeah, definitely.
We're exploring, get this, a channeled message, basically communication from a spiritual source,
Well,
and they call themselves Team Celeste.
that's right. And what's really interesting is we have like zero background info on this Team Celeste.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like diving into a pool without even knowing how deep it goes.
Exactly, just a transcript of their
Yeah.
message. No website, no bio, nothing.
Yeah,
It just adds to the mystique, for sure.
for sure.
So their central message, from what I can tell, seems to be all about remembering our divine nature, which is something we've supposedly forgotten.
Uh-huh.
Does that resonate with you at all?
It does, in a way. This idea of like a hidden or forgotten divine self pops up in so many spiritual traditions. Like, think about the Atman in Hinduism,
Right.
or the concept of a divine spark that you find in like mystical teachings.
Yeah,
It's almost like a universal yearning for something more than just our everyday selves.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So what do you think, like, divine nature actually means in a practical sense?
Yeah, that's
Like, how would someone listening know if they'd tapped into that?
a great question.
Yeah.
I think, it could be about accessing a deeper level of maybe wisdom, intuition, or creativity.
Okay.
Maybe it's about feeling a sense of interconnectedness with everything around you.
Uh-huh.
Or perhaps it's about experiencing a profound sense of peace and purpose,
Yeah.
even amidst all the chaos of life.
I like that, a sense of peace and purpose, because Team Celeste talks a lot about an inner journey to rediscover this divine nature.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep mentioning the heart, not literally, but as a symbolic gateway
Yeah.
to our deeper selves.
Right, which is fascinating because the heart holds like such symbolic weight across so many different cultures.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you think about ancient Egypt,
Uh-huh.
it was considered the seat of the soul. In Sufism, it's, the locus of divine connection.
Right.
And even today, we associate the heart with, intuition, compassion,
Yeah.
our truest feelings.
It's like the core of who we are.
Yeah, exactly.
So it sounds like they're suggesting we need to shift our focus inward, away from all the external noise and distractions.
Yeah.
Instead of searching for answers outside ourselves, we need to delve into our own inner space.
Exactly. And they paint this really vivid picture of this inner space.
Okay.
They call it like a haven of peace, light, and love.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like a sanctuary,
Okay.
a refuge from all the busyness of the world.
Okay, I'm picturing like a cozy cabin in the woods,
Yeah.
fireplace crackling,
Right.
complete silence, except for the sound of my own breath.
Yeah, well, maybe not exactly like that, but I think you're
Yeah.
getting the idea.
Okay.
It's about creating that space within ourselves
Right.
where we can connect with our essence,
Yeah,
our true nature.
I like that. And they specifically mention breathing as a way to kind of access this space.
Uh-huh.
They say something like, when you breathe gently and deeply in this inner space, you reconnect with your soul, your higher consciousness.
That connection between breath and spirituality is ancient and widespread.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, you think about pranayama in yoga,
Right.
or the focus on breath in meditation.
Yeah.
It's like the breath acts as an anchor,
Right.
bringing us back to the present moment,
Yeah.
helping us quiet the mental chatter.
That mental chatter can be relentless, can it?
Yeah.
Always analyzing, worrying, planning.
Mm-hmm.
Team Celeste seems to suggest that true peace comes from silencing that internal noise
Yeah.
and tapping into the stillness beneath.
Yes, they talk about moving beyond our, small character, which I think refers to the ego,
Okay.
that limited sense of self we often identify
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
They're urging us to connect with something much vaster,
Yeah.
something beyond the confines of our thoughts and worries.
So what do they say happens when we make that shift?
Okay.
When we step out of the whirlwind of thoughts
Yeah.
and into that expansive inner space?
Right. Well, according to Team Celeste, you start to see things from like a whole new perspective.
Okay.
They say that when you return to this inner space, all your worries and anxieties, they don't just disappear,
Okay.
but they are like seen and accepted,
Okay.
seen from afar. Like you're gaining some distance from them.
So it's not about like denying or suppressing
Right.
these thoughts and feelings,
Exactly.
but about creating space between ourselves and them so they don't control us.
Exactly. They even use the phrase your inner light replaces all these undesirable manifestations.
Okay.
It's like by connecting with our true nature, we're illuminating those darker corners of our minds
Yeah.
and transforming them into something more positive.
Okay, so how do we actually do that? How do we create that space and let that inner light shine through?
Well, Team Celeste provides a few, practical suggestions.
Okay.
First, they emphasize the importance of visualization.
Okay.
They encourage you to imagine like a journey from your head to your heart,
Right.
whether it's like an elevator descending, a staircase you're walking down, or like a peaceful path through nature.
It sounds almost like a guided meditation.
Right.
I can see how that would like help shift your focus inward and create a sense of separation from all the mental noise.
Right. And they don't just leave you with like a vague image.
Yeah.
They actually describe this inner space, this heart space in detail.
Okay.
They call it a precious and unique place, a source of peace, light, protection, and love.
You mentioned trying meditation before. Do any of these descriptions resonate with your experience at all? Did you ever feel like you tapped into that kind of space during your practice?
There were definitely like moments where I felt a sense of deep calm and stillness, a feeling of being connected to something bigger than myself. It's hard to put into words.
Yeah.
But there was a definite like shift in perspective.
That's amazing. And it sounds like Team Celeste is saying that anyone can access this space.
Right.
That it's within all of us.
Yeah.
It's not some exclusive club for, experienced meditator or spiritual gurus.
Exactly. They really emphasize that point.
Yeah.
They say, don't look outside for this peace. It's within you. Don't look outside for this love, this light, because everything is there. Everything is there within you.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
We're so conditioned to look for happiness and fulfillment in external things, achievements, possessions, relationships. But what if it's all already within us, just waiting to be uncovered?
That's the essence of their message.
Yeah.
It's not about like acquiring something new, but about remembering who we truly are. It's about returning home to ourselves.
That's a beautiful phrase.
It is.
It reminds me of the saying, the longest journey is the journey inward.
And it's a journey that, requires patience and persistence.
Yeah.
Team Celeste acknowledges that it's not always easy to quiet the mind and connect with that inner space. They encourage you to like keep practicing, even if it's just for a few minutes each day.
Yeah. They also talk about the importance of intention. They say, if you feel this call, if you want to have answers, if you feel this pressure within you, it's the pressure of your soul which guides you towards this awakening, towards this realization.
That's such an important point.
It is.
It's not about like forcing ourselves to do something we don't believe in.
Yeah.
It's about paying attention to that inner yearning.
Yeah.
That sense that there's something more to life.
Right.
And following that thread.
So we've got visualization.
Yeah.
We've got breath work. We've got the power of intention. These are some pretty practical tools, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. They're simple.
Yeah.
But they can be profoundly transformative.
Yeah.
If we approach them with an open mind.
Right.
And a willingness to explore.
And they lead to some pretty incredible benefits.
They do.
According to Team Celeste, they talk about like reclaiming your power, your divinity, by returning home to this inner space.
Right.
They say, by returning home, you give back the space to your divinity, to your being of light, to your being of infinite power, which is within you.
It's almost like they're suggesting we have this incredible potential within us.
Yeah.
But we've like forgotten how to access it. We've become disconnected from our true nature, from that source of creativity and power.
And they're not just talking about like personal power, right?
No.
They specifically mention that this inner journey can help you become a better creator in the world, but not just any creator.
Right. They say the creator, the one who creates, but who doesn't create in ignorance. The one who creates in the harmony and love of all creation.
So what does that even mean? What does it look like to create in the harmony and love of all creation?
I think it's about aligning our actions with our highest values.
Okay.
With our like deepest sense of purpose. It's about creating from a place of love, compassion, and understanding.
Right.
Rather than from, fear, ego, or greed.
That makes sense. But how do we know what our highest values are?
Yeah.
How do we know what our true purpose is?
That's where the inner journey comes in.
Okay.
By connecting with our true nature. by quieting the noise of the external world and listening to the whispers of our soul, we start to gain clarity on what truly matters to us.
So it's not just about, feeling good or escaping from our problems.
Exactly.
It's about using that inner peace and wisdom to guide our actions in the world.
Exactly. It's about becoming more conscious creators, more intentional about how we live our lives and the impact we have on others.
This is starting to sound less like a mystical retreat and more like a blueprint for personal and societal transformation.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Team Celeste's message is, deeply spiritual. But it also has practical implications for how we live our lives, how we interact with others, and how we contribute to the world.
So before we wrap up part 2, let's recap what we've learned about this inner journey.
Sure.
Team Celeste suggests using visualization, breath work, and intention to access a place of peace, light, and love within ourselves.
Right.
They emphasize that this space is available to everyone and that it's the key to unlocking our true potential, both personally and creatively.
They also suggest that this inner transformation can have a ripple effect on the world around us, helping us become more conscious and compassionate creators.
Yeah. Now, as we head into the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
I'm curious to explore the potential challenges and rewards that might arise on this path of inner exploration.
Me too, because while the benefits sound amazing, I'm sure it's not always easy to stay on this path.
Okay, so we've talked about all these potential benefits of this whole inner journey thing Team Celeste is suggesting, but let's be real, it can't all be sunshine and roses, can it?
Oh, definitely not.
There have to be some challenges along the way.
Oh, for sure.
What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Any kind of deep personal transformation is going to have its bumps in the road.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest challenges is just the resistance we might encounter, from within ourselves. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're so used to operating from, the level of the mind, the ego, that shifting our focus inward can feel really unfamiliar, even uncomfortable at times.
I can see that. It's like we're trying to break this lifelong habit of looking outside ourselves for answers, for validation, for our sense of self.
Right.
Turning inward can almost feel like stepping into the unknown, which can be pretty scary.
Exactly. And when we step into that unknown, all sorts of doubts and fears can pop up. We might start questioning, are we doing this right?
Yeah.
Are we actually experiencing anything?
Yeah.
Is this even a good use of our time?
Or even, if this whole inner journey is a waste of time.
Right, exactly.
And then on top of all that, we have to contend with all the distractions of daily life.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's so easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of work, responsibilities, social media, and everything else that's constantly vying for our attention.
It never stops.
It never stops.
So how do we deal with all that? How do we overcome those challenges and actually stay committed to this inner journey?
Yeah.
Because, Team Celeste doesn't exactly give us a step-by-step guide, do they?
No, they don't.
Yeah.
But they do emphasize the importance of, patience, persistence, and self-compassion.
Yeah. Good.
They remind us that this is a journey, not a destination.
Right.
It's not about forcing ourselves to reach some idealized state of perfection.
Right. Yeah.
But about, showing up for ourselves, even in small ways.
Yeah.
And trusting the process.
I think that's a really important point, self-compassion.
Oh, it's huge.
It's easy to get discouraged, when we don't see results immediately or when we fall short of our own expectations.
Right.
But beating ourselves up isn't going to help.
No, exactly. It's about being kind to ourselves.
Yeah.
Acknowledging that, we're all works in progress.
Right.
And celebrating the small victories along the way.
I like that.
Yeah.
And, Team Celeste also talks a lot about the power of intention. They say something like, if you feel this call, if you want answers, if you feel this pressure within you, it's the pressure of your soul guiding you towards this awakening.
Yeah, that really resonates with me.
Yeah.
It's not about, blindly following someone else's path, but about listening to that inner yearning.
Right.
That sense that there's something more to life.
Yeah.
And letting that be our guide.
So even if we stumble or get sidetracked, that intention can help us kind of get back on course.
It's like having a compass.
Okay.
That always points us in the right direction.
Yeah.
Even when we get lost in the woods.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the challenges, but what about the rewards? Like, what kind of deeper insights can we expect to gain from this journey?
Well, Team Celeste talks about like a shift in perspective.
Okay.
A realization that we are so much more than just our thoughts, our emotions, our experiences. They suggest that by connecting with our true nature, we tap into this sense of peace, love, and wisdom.
Okay.
That transcends the ups and downs of everyday life.
It's like we're accessing a deeper wellspring of strength and resilience within ourselves.
Yeah.
Something that can't be shaken by, external circumstances.
Exactly. And that can have a profound ripple effect on how we live our lives, how we relate to others.
Right.
We start to relate to others differently, with more compassion, more understanding.
Right.
We find ourselves more present, more engaged in the world, but also less attached to like outcomes and external validation.
It's like we're shifting from this, limited, ego-driven perspective to a more expansive and compassionate way of being.
And that shift in consciousness can be truly transformative.
Yeah.
Not just for ourselves, but for the world around us.
Right. Yeah.
It's like we're raising the vibration of the entire planet.
Wow. That's powerful stuff. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the message of Team Celeste, I think we've uncovered some pretty profound insights.
Definitely.
They've given us a lot to think about.
Yeah.
It seems like they're offering us this path to rediscover our true nature,
and
connect with our inner wisdom and creativity, and to become more conscious creators in the world.
Right.
What stands out to you the most from all this?
Well, for me, it's the emphasis on personal experience.
Okay.
They offer these tools and concepts.
Right.
But ultimately, it's up to each individual to, like, find what resonates with them and to chart their own course.
Yeah.
There's no, one-size-fits-all approach to this inner journey.
That's a great point. It's a reminder that spirituality isn't about, like, dogma or rigid rules.
Right.
It's about finding what works for you, what speaks to your heart, and allowing yourself to be guided by, your own inner wisdom.
And I think that's a really empowering message.
It is.
Especially in a world that often tries to tell us who we are and what we should be doing. Team Celeste is encouraging us to, like, turn inward.
Right.
Listen to our own inner voice.
Yeah.
Trust our own intuition.
So for anyone listening who's feeling that call, that inner pressure to awaken to something more, just remember, you're not alone.
You're not.
This path of self-discovery might be challenging at times, but it's also incredibly rewarding. Yeah. And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, by embarking on this journey, you'll not only transform your own life, but also contribute to a more conscious and compassionate world.
It's a beautiful possibility.
It is.
And I think that's a perfect note to end on.
I agree. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Until next time. Keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
Yeah.
And keep listening to that inner voice that guides you towards your own truth.